Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, joined today from the Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection. It's Michelle. She's back, and she is ready to talk to us today. A very interesting a scam here. Telecommunications imposters. Listen really closely on this one because this fascinates me in a lot of different levels. But first and foremost, we are talking about getting a new cell phone. Mm-hmm. But somehow, some way, an imposter is reaching out in this process at some point and is asking for some specific data about it, and then it kind of just escalates into some pretty nasty things. So first and foremost, breaking that down just a tiny bit more, how does this work?
Yeah, we wanted to bring you a unique one, and
it
still has some of the common things we talk about all the time. So it's unique in what it is. So this consumer we heard from was getting a new cell phone and wanted to switch providers. So they made that contact and ordered their new phone. And soon after they got the new phone, before they even activated it, they got a phone call from the scammer who was impersonating this new provider and said, "I'll help you set it up." So okay, I got a new phone. I'm reached by the provider, help me activate it. They hadn't done it yet. Well, they asked for the International Mobile Equipment Identity number that's on the phone, the IMEI number.
Hope you're taking notes. We're going to quiz you at the end on this, okay?
This is a number that's on the packaging. It's assigned to each cellular device at the time of manufacture. Well, this number needs to be treated like personally identifiable information because this is who you are when you're using your device. It's assigned to your device. You're activating it. That's you now. Well, the scammer wants that number because now they can use your number to hide behind you and make all these calls and be the scammer if they can access that number. Well, what happened during this call, the consumer gave out that number, but then the scammer started asking for the PIN number, their personally identifiable number related to their cell phone, because then they could do even more. The consumer's like, "You called me, why do you need my PIN?" They knew that's my number, I don't give it out. They asked a few follow-up questions and the scammer had their answers, but the consumer disconnected that conversation. So what did they have to do? They've given out this other number that they need to keep to themselves, the IMEI number, so they worked with their provider to report that, get another new cell phone, and do all that. As soon as their new cell phone arrived, they got the same call from the scammer again. So they hung up, they knew not to give out the number, and they went through the activation process. But we need to be very cautious about these calls. We don't hand out that information at all.
You're looking at me because I'm over here, I am like mind blown right now. Not once, twice.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of strange pieces here. First and foremost, I was mentioning you right before we started this. Like last time I bought a cell phone, we got it direct. We didn't go to the cell phone store. We didn't, weren't able to do all these things. So I mean, in that realm, I'm like, okay, the provider, but the provider number showed up as well when they called. Like as far as getting into any type of scam, was this a random number that called, or was it a spoof number too, or any other details on that front?
I mean,
even though I told you I wouldn't ask you any of these types of questions,
here we go. It's all good. There's a lot we don't know about this scam at this point. We're working with the provider, and the provider has also let us know, look, this scam could take on a different twist. The scammer could say, "Send me your cell phone." If you had done that, now you haven't really sent it to the provider, you've sent it to the scammer. And so you've handed over even more of your cell phone identity, if you will, which you pay a bill for. It's a utility in some fashion. It's your telecommunications utility for a lot of people because they don't have landlines. And they are hiding behind your identity when they're making calls or trying to advance scams with other individuals. They will appear as you. What we don't know about this scam is how this imposter knew to call this individual who just switched providers and gotten a new phone.
Right.
And that's why we're talking about it right now too, because usually during the holiday season that we're coming up on, we see a lot of opportunities for people to switch plans, get new phones, the latest technology. So whatever's going on here and however that's being identified, people could be at risk for this one if they're going to take advantage of any of those deals that they may see.
To avoid scams in general, so I ask about the spoofing number, whatever that number is calling you. Again, still a lot to learn about this, but in general terms, if you do receive an unsolicited communication, throw it across the board, it just happens to be that you did bought a device or any, pick your poison. In general, do we want to answer these unwanted, unsolicited? And if we do answer it, do we need to be cautious?
We certainly do not want to give personally identifiable information, and think of the scope of that for this scam, to people who call us out of the blue. We can't trust the caller ID to clearly define who is on the other end of the call, because scammers are trying to misrepresent that. Now, you can answer the phone and it might really be who the caller ID says, but how do you do that verification? The way we always tell consumers to do that when you need to do business with someone is that you initiate the phone call and you give out the information only when you've dialed the phone to a source that you trust. Using a resource, a phone number that you trust is legitimate and real. You might have to make a call to whomever, they don't answer, they call you back, now they want you to verify. But how do I know I'm really talking to that person? Is it all a coincidence? Is it legit and real? You have to figure out how you're going to know you're really talking to who you need to be speaking with.
And I would offer too, make sure you go to the source. It's something you said early this year when we were kind of setting the tone, I think, for just scams in general, is making sure to go to the source. So if you receive an unsolicited thing with a number on it to call, again, probably not a good idea.
No, I mean, in this case, you figure out who your new provider is, and you then dial that phone number, not the one left in the voice message or on your caller ID. If it's your previous provider, you have a number on your bill, or you have a website that you can go to, or an app that you can, chat with and say, I've had this issue. Have you really reached out to me? You can find out real processes and how things work. Or in these cases with the new cell phone, often there's a location, a local outlet that you can go to. While that's not as convenient as doing it at midnight in your home, there's store hours that you can get face-to-face service from.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think if you're even questioning this, or if you've got this type of call, it's so interesting. I hope we hear follow-up from this one, because this is definitely got some interesting stuff going on here. So,
absolutely.
If people want to reach out and learn more about the stuff that you can do to protect folks out there, or to report, really, if you hear this, report this, please. How do they do so? You
can reach out to DATCP at the website, datcp.wi.gov, or call the Consumer Protection Hotline at 800 422-7128.
Michelle, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm still mind blown by this, and I'm very fascinated to see what hopefully we find out what's going on here, and hopefully nobody else falls victim to this.
Absolutely. Please do report it so we can keep looking into it.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.